So hi everybody, and hi to Michelle. How are you?
I'm great, thanks, Jazz. Good to be here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I met Michelle probably about 6 months ago now. We immediately became friends, and we immediately started to respect each other and each other's work. I'm happy to say that, as well as everything else that Michelle does, she's also a fast track practitioner level 3 and is bringing that more and more into her work. And what is her work? Okay, I've got a list of things she does here. I'm going to have to read them because I can't remember. There is so much that she does. She's a Reiki master. She is a transformational coach, and I can vouch for that. She's a hypnotherapist. She works with Access Bars Consciousness. She handles retreats. And basically, she helps people change their lives. But I think all of that comes under the heading of a shaman. And up until recently, I had a big no connected to shamanism. I think, no, that's not for me. It's old-fashioned, and jazz doesn't do shamanism. But after a few conversations with Michelle, I started to get a new perspective of it. And it's that I would like Michelle to share with us today, her view of shamanism and how it works for her and her clients. So over to you, Michelle. Hit us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Jazz. While shamanism has been quite a journey for me, it started, I'll just begin a little bit with how it started. I went to a shamanic healer, and she asked me, what is it that you'd like to get out of this session today? And I said, I want to bring back my psychic abilities, which I had lost access to over the years. And she took me on this journey, and she saw that my psychic abilities actually were personified as a fairy. And this fairy came back from deep, deep in the earth and said, oh, I'm so excited. I'm really, really excited, because tell her that even though she buried all her abilities in the earth, then I'm not upset with her, because I've learned about the rocks and the minerals. I've learned about the plant medicine. I've learned about all of these things. And so Michelle's ready. It will be very, very easy for her to grasp. And so shortly after that, I started practicing shamanism. And I had no plan until that healing all sort of came flooding in.
Can
and
I
it was
ask
amazing.
a question there? Was the lady that you went to see, was she a shaman or not?
Yes, she was a shaman as well.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, she was. She didn't necessarily call herself a shaman, but definitely qualified as a shaman. A shaman is basically someone who has the ability to be an intermediary between this ordinary reality that we live in and non-ordinary reality, which means talking to our helping spirits, as well as navigating from this world to what we call in shamanism the transcendent realms. The transcendent realms consist of the upper world and an elemental world, which is also known as the lower world. And in the lower world, in shamanism, that's where we meet our totem animal guides. And for me, this is a experience to guide my clients on a journey to meet their totem animal guides, sometimes for the very first time, because this gives them a renewed sense of empowerment, self-empowerment. Many times clients come to me feeling lost and scared and confused. And so when I take them on a journey to the elemental world to meet their totem animal guides, they find they have this whole new perspective of themselves and their lives. And they start to shift out of any negative patterns or negative thinking and moving into a place of empowerment. And this is one of the beautiful parts of shamanism. This is why I practice shamanism.
And why is that? Why is it the meeting of the power animal that does this, or helps them achieve that?
Well, I believe it's because these power animals, they are helping spirits, and they have different qualities that can basically, they have the ability to encourage those qualities within us. So they're like an old friend or a close friend.
Yeah.
It kind of helps you when you really need it. You can't quite do it on your own. These guys come in and they're like, okay, I'm here, help you out. I'm going to give you more courage. I'm going to give you that protection that you're needing because you're not feeling safe. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be a friend for your life if you want me to, or even if you only want me for a few months or a few years, I'll be with you and I'll walk that path with you, so you know you're never alone. You always have me.
Is there any way that people could know their power animal without going to a shaman?
Yes, they can. I normally, to get into an altered state, I use drumming. So they can purchase like an MP3 online that has a particular shamanic drumming. It's so many beats per second that takes your brain into what they call the theta brain state, which is a very deeply, deeply relaxed state. And when you're in that state, you're able to let go. The conscious mind finally stops yabbering, and you're able to move to this really beautiful subconscious state that allows you to journey to either the upper world or the elemental world, where you can meet your power animals. And shamanism, pretty much just like any healing modality, it's all about intention. And when we hold our intention, I really want to meet my power animals, I really need courage in my life, then we take that intention, we listen to the MP3, and we end up easily going in down to the elemental, and there they are waiting and saying, here I am, I want to help you.
Have more than one.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You can have many power animals. They may not be all introduced to you at the same time. That would be maybe a bit much. But often on people's first journey, they'll meet 2 or 3 easily on their first journey.
Wow. Could you share with us your power animals? I
don't do that. I'll tell you why. I've been told in my training as a shaman that you do not share who your animals are, especially for me as a professional shaman. The reason is because if other shamans out, they can mess with you a bit, and I prefer not to reveal that. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
There must be books written about this that people can read and stuff online.
Absolutely. I've heard Sandra Ingerman has some quite books. I haven't personally read her book, but several of my students have recommended them to me. She has a book called Retrieval. And yeah, you can easily Google and learn more about the significance of different animals that appear in your life. So it begins where in ordinary reality, we're just all of a sudden seeing giraffes everywhere. And we wonder, why are we seeing these giraffes? And then you go on a journey, and then the giraffe appears and says, well, because I'm your power animal. That's why you've been seeing in reality.
That's lovely. So I'm fascinated with that. I think that's just magical, and I love anything that's magical and fairy-like. So with something a bit more practical about shamanism, Michele, that you could share with us, please.
Sure. I think for me, and what I see with the people that I share shamanism with, because I do teach workshops and do retreat, is about connecting to our higher self.
Yes.
That greater part of us that gives us wisdom in our lives. And I feel that the shamanic path helps us to do that. And I do that through a variety of ways. I personally enjoy taking my drum and just singing whatever comes forth from my soul. We call it the soul song. And it could be just sounds. It doesn't have to have words. But when we sing that soul song, we are connecting to the soul. We are connecting to that greater part of who we are. And today in this world when things are so fast moving, people are really stressed out. A lot of people have anxiety disorder and all kinds of other disorders. I believe that the way to overcome those challenges is by connecting to our soul, connecting to our higher self. So we can sing our soul song, or we can also just sit quietly and put our hand over our heart center or our physical heart and close our eyes with the intention of I am connecting with my soul. I am choosing to connect with my soul in this moment, and I am open to receiving any messages that my soul has for me that will be of benefit to me in life. And as we do that, already things start to shift. We can feel something changing. We're moving out of this analytical mind, and we're moving into the greater mind, which is the heart.
I can feel it. Mm-hmm. So what, anybody watching this, you can just do a bit of a rewind and you can sit and close your eyes. You might want to hold a crystal. That would be a nice thing to do. And repeat what Michele just said. That's absolutely beautiful. And she is very, very beautiful. She's like Mother Earth to me.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. You can also use this beautiful fast track wand as sells on her website. I love my wand, and sometimes having something like a crystal or a fast track wand and holding that, it anchors that intention in even more. And this wand is a quartz crystal, and quartz crystal magnifies energy. You're doing a particular positive meditation or connecting with the soul, it will magnify your intention. So this is really wonderful to have a tool such as Jazz mentioned, a quartz crystal or one of her wands. Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to use our wands now. And we're going to investigate our resistance to making that transition. Obviously, Michele is very able to do that in lots and lots of different ways, but today we're going to do it with Fast Track. And many of you know that I use cards and muscle testing. I'm going to use the O-ring test today. And so when it holds strong, it's a truth, like my name is Jazz. And when I say my name's Brian, it goes weak, which indicates a no. And I have the cards to my side, and I'm just going to find out from Fast Track, which is consciousness being channeled through the fairy in me, I think. And I'm going to find out where it's going to take us. Which line do we go to? Is it line number 1? No. Is it line number 2? And it most certainly is. So, oh gosh, I know what this is. Is it family? Yes. Now, is it our family of origin? No. So do we have shamanic families, Michele?
Wow, I'm getting a lot of chills as you ask that question. So yes, absolutely we do. Yes. Yeah.
So do we need to know more? Yes, we do. Is that line number 1? Is it emotions? Is it beliefs? Is it limiting beliefs? Programs, responses, behavior patterns? Okay, is this connected to separation? Yes, it is. So this is how our mind, and the way we've been programmed as, we think we're running the show. We think we're in charge of our own lives. But actually, if we could let go, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Michele, if I'm using not quite the right words, if we could let go and do what Michele suggested and contact our power animal or that shamanic part of us, our shamanic family, and allow them to come in and to help us make this transition. I think that's what we need to do right now. Anything to add to that, Michele?
You said it beautifully. I think that's beautiful. And I think it's just the willingness to receive, I want to say that, receive their help and their guidance, to go and receive, be open to receive.
Because Michele is a fast track practitioner, she knows exactly what's going on here. I'm going to start this off with the card and picking up the family card and picking up the card that represents separation from our shamanic family, and I'm picking up the card that represents programs, beliefs, and behavior patterns that are all up here. So I'm going to lead us in, and I'm going to invite Michele to shamanic us on the end. So pick up your releasing tool, which may be a wand, or it could be a magnet or a crystal, and follow Michele and I. Oof. I fast track the release.
Fast track the release.
Of all programs.
Of all programs.
Responses and behavior patterns.
Responses and behavior patterns.
Separating me from my shamanic family.
Separating me from my shamanic family.
And anything else that's holding me back.
And anything else that's holding me back.
From my transition.
From my transition.
And my full and true potential.
My full and true intentions.
Over to you.
Over to me, did you say?
Yeah.
I open to fully receiving.
I open to fully receiving.
All guidance.
All guidance.
And wisdom.
And wisdom.
And healing.
And healing.
From my helping spirits.
From my helping spirits.
From my family.
And my shamanic family.
Now.
Right now. Woo!
Ooh, wow. I can feel that. That's big.
I think the shamanic family likes fast track. Let's just see, is there anything else we need to know? No. That is so very, very cool. Wow.
That's really cool.
We have to do this with Michele. It's such fun. We're going to finish this interview right now. Thank you so much for joining us. I found that fascinating. Would you please give us your website address very slowly so we can write it down, just in case people have got questions or they want to contact you for any reason?
Oh, thank you, Jazz. And it's been, I really just want to thank you for inviting me today to do this. I love working with you, and I'm excited to share these tools and to have this collaboration with Fast Track was really, really amazing. I had no idea how that could come about, but it just really melded together really beautifully. So yes, I'd love to hear from anybody who has any questions about shamanism. I do have some programs coming up, one in May in Rai, Thailand. Woo-hoo! And another one in November here in Bali, which is a more advanced level. It's intermediate training. So if you want to find out more about what I do and where I will be in the world, please visit my website at www.spiritweaverjourneys with an S altogether.com. SPIRITWEAR journey, AOURNEYS.com. And so much for
And if
watching
you
us here
didn't get
today.
that down, you can just get me, and I'm just Jazz with 1Z at fasttracktechnique.com, which is super easy, and I'll put you in touch with Michele. Thank you so much. I'm sure you're going to be hearing more from us. That was amazing. I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
Michele.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.